Hello, mic check, mic check. So far the mic seems to be all right. Right, I think the mic is working fine. I made sure I tested it a couple of times before the live stream. And yeah, hopefully this time it will be good. I will remove this monitoring, but in case you find any issues with the audio, please do let me know in the comments. I will take a look. But hopefully we will not face any issues today. As always, I wanted to talk about something in this live Q&A before I start taking those questions in the chat. This is partly related to data science, but then also not related to data science. You can take this opinion in general. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this. So the topic is, don't trust all the influencers or all the content creators that you see on YouTube. There are a lot of big channels, they have millions of subscribers, and lately I've been seeing they are promoting some of the data science courses. I'm not saying those data science courses are bad, or the channel it has some ill intentions to sell those courses to you. The only thing that I'm saying is that those courses did reach out to me as well, and I did not see value in promoting those courses on my channel. And if you don't know my channel, then just go and take a look at all the videos. It's mostly around data science, so I know what data science is and what all things needs to be covered in a data science course, and is it worth it to pay that much money for a data science course. So yes, I have some knowledge about data science, but I've seen some of the bigger channels, they just don't have any idea about what data science is, but then they're promoting those courses. So when you watch those channels, and if you are looking for a data science course, just don't believe their words and just go and register for those courses, because they are getting some incentive by making you register for those courses. But at the end of the day, they don't know exactly what they are trying to sell it to you, because they just don't know what data science is and what all skills needs to be covered, and if those skills are still being covered, whether the course is worth it or not. So you should always make your own decisions and try to go on to those channels and see if they actually know what data science is, and based on that, take those courses. And if you don't feel confident enough to buy a course after watching that sponsored or watching that promotional content, I would suggest maybe do your own Google search or just research on YouTube and see if someone has reviewed it. If you can't find any of those, just go on to LinkedIn and try to find people who have taken those courses and try to talk to them and get their genuine feedback, because those people will provide you genuine feedback, because they're not getting any incentive out of selling those courses. But then there are some courses where they just try to uh, use a referral link and stuff. So make sure whenever you are clicking on a link, it's not a referral. And there have been a lot of scams lately related to these sponsored content. And again, the content that those bigger channels are making, they are really good, and I personally find them quite helpful. But the fact that they're promoting something which they are not aware of, and it can impact your career, and you may or may not lose a lot of money by investing in those courses, I personally think that is not good. And just for some incentive, they're selling those courses to you. I think that is not good. So yes, do your own research before taking any courses, and you can always reach out to me if you want to know about a course, how the course is. I'll be more than happy to help you. So yeah, that's all what I wanted to talk before we get into the chat and start picking those questions one by one. I will be coming to the UK for MSc Data Science September 25. Can you recommend what things I should know before I start the course? That's a good question, and I think it's always good to be prepared before you come for masters. So I have already made a detailed video about what things to cover before you come for masters, but I will summarize it very briefly here in the Q&A. So things that you really need to know is going to be Python programming, because as you know, the course in the UK is for 1 year. Well, there are different varied duration for those courses, but usually the masters in the UK is for 1 year, and you might not get enough time to be very used to programming, so it's always better to pick up programming before you come to the UK. That way you will be very much benefited by that, is because you will not have to think about how to write those complex logic, and you will be able to write code quite easily. So that's going to be the first thing. The second is going to be maths and stats. You need to brush up some of your mathematical and statistical concepts. That way, whenever a teacher is going to use those terms, and when they will teach you maths and stats here, those things will not sound alien to you. So it will be like, yes, this is something familiar and I have read about it, so it shouldn't be that tricky for me to pick those things. So I think those two are the key concepts. If you pick those things before coming for masters, I think it's going to help you quite a lot. But if you still have some time, I would suggest learn basics of mathematics, sorry, not mathematics, mathematics is already done. Basics of machine learning and deep learning. So you don't need to go on to the nitty gritty of machine learning, like each and every equation. You don't need to do that. If you want to learn those things, you can do those things while doing your masters. But if you just understand how linear regression works, or how logistic regression works, how decision tree works, so if you just understand how those things work, I think that is going to be really, really good. And same goes for deep learning. So I think those are the 4 things that you can pick up before coming for masters. But if you think you don't have that much time, then Python and statistics and mathematics is going to be the key. If you pick up those 2, I think you'll be good. I hope that helps, Abhishek. Is there any channel from or some course which I can learn Python? There are quite a lot of Python tutorials, and you don't really need to learn like everything about Python. And when I say everything, to start with, you don't need to worry too much about object oriented and stuff. If you are able to write a functional code, I think that's more than enough. So if you just simply search for Python tutorial, you should be able to find something. But if you want one channel which I remember, and it's been a while, so I don't know if that content is still there or not, but Corey Sheffer, when I was personally learning Python a long back ago, I did watch some of his videos just to understand how Python works. And after that, I think it was mostly solving problems on LeetCode. And when I started solving problems on LeetCode, I automatically start to understand different constructs that Python has, and how the flow works, and how I need to really think when I have to build some logic. So solving problems on LeetCode helped me quite a lot. I also have like 6 or 7 notebooks on GitHub, where I have explained some of those basic concepts that you need to learn for data science. So I think, yeah, that notebook can also help. If you go on to my LinkedIn, on GitHub profile, you'll be able to find I don't exactly remember what was the name of the repository. I can maybe pull that link up and put it in the chat. So I think those are the few things that you can maybe take a look if you want to learn Python. Right, I am logged in. Yeah, it's Python tutorial. So yeah, there are like 7-8 notebooks, and I've explained everything in the notebooks itself. Yeah, but if you prefer video content, then maybe check out Corey Sheffer's YouTube channel. There you will be able to understand how different things work. And if you want to set up an environment, I would suggest don't use anything. Just go on Google Colab and start writing your code there. Don't bother yourself with setting up environment, because if you are someone who doesn't have a lot of experience with Python, sometimes it can be really tedious to set up that environment, install those packages, and dealing with those things is very cumbersome, especially when you're starting things out. So I would say just go on Google Colab and start writing code there, and once you feel comfortable, then start solving some lead code problems. In the beginning, I think it is going to be a little difficult and challenging. You might find like it's very difficult and not able to do it, but when you start solving those problems, eventually you will start to pick things up and it will become easier and easier. One thing about lead code is that they have different indicators like hard, easy, and medium, which is a fair indication of the complexity of the problem. But I would also suggest look at the completion rate, because sometimes the completion rate for easy problem can be very low, whereas a completion rate for a highly difficult problem can be more. So depending on that also, complexity can vary. So do check out those things and then start with easy and high completion rate problems, so that you will be able to build some confidence. And once you start building some confidence, slowly move to medium and hard problems, and eventually you will be okay. So yeah, I think if you spend a little bit more time on solving those problems, it's going to definitely help. If you don't know what lead code is, let me put the link in the chat for that as well. I could share a couple of more links and videos if you want on how to use Google Colab. So what did I do? I think I broke something. Yeah, so I will paste 2 more links. One, things you need to learn before you come for masters, and the next link is going to be related to Colab, so that you are all set and you have all the resources and you can get started right from the get-go, or maybe just today. Yeah, found the video. Hi Shutosh, all good, how are you? So this is the video where I talked about things you should learn before coming for masters, and the next one that I will share is going to be related to Google Colab. And this video is about Google Colab. Yeah, found it. Right. Also, can you please share your Instagram? If I have any questions, I would want to reach out to you. We don't really have a Programming Cradle Instagram page. I do have my photography page. If you want, you can maybe reach out there. But LinkedIn can be a place where you can reach out. I do answer some questions there, or you can join Telegram or Discord server, which is the most popular place where your answers will get answered very quickly. Either I will answer your questions, or other members from those groups are also very helpful, so they can answer your questions as well. You're welcome, Vishek. Have you already applied for your masters in different universities, Abhishek? Week was all right. It is starting to pick up pace from work side, because a lot of new goals, lot of new targets. So already things are starting to pick up pace, but it is going all right. How about you? Did you do anything exciting? Yes, I have an offer from QMUL. I am yet to take IELTS, right? Okay, all the best. Have you booked your slot already, or you're still in your preparation phase and you will take IELTS, or you will book your slot later on? How you set targets for data science roles? I mean, it totally depends on what business wants. So if they want to, well, they set their own KPIs, which I really can't talk about here. And depending on those KPIs, one thing that I can say is increase your sales, which all the companies want to increase. So depending on that, we will have to figure out how to increase the sales. Well, that is not one of the KPIs for us, because uh, my role is slightly different. That might be for the sales teams. But yeah, it totally depends on the KPIs that company will set, and they will, and that's why I was talking about this in one of the last live streams, that having that business acumen is very important, because your stakeholders and your leadership management, they will talk in natural language, like we want to reach there, we want to have that much sales, and then we will have to convert that into a technical problem and how we will tackle those problems. So yeah, we have to just think about those things, and our KPIs and our targets and goals are going to be based on the KPIs that higher management will set. So it is purely based on that. Yes, traveled to Jaipur. Nice. For some vacation, or was some work? and I'm currently working as a data analyst. I have experience in MicroStrategy and some SQL, right? Okay. That screen is way too far. I need to look at comments here. Right, so you have experience, which is good because having some experience definitely helps, and you have SQL experience, which is highly valued in data science, data analytics domain. So I think it is definitely going to help you. If I can ask, how much experience do you have? Because it does matter if you have experience over 2 to 3 years, and when you come here and when you're looking for a job, it does slightly help. So yeah, I'm just curious. I will book a slot for Feb, right? Okay, all the best. Just to travel, that's good. Even we are planning to travel somewhere. We don't know where that somewhere will be, but it will have to be within UK. So it is still slightly cold, so we're waiting to get it little warmed up, and once the weather is little good, we are planning to go somewhere, but again don't know where. So we'll keep you posted if we travel to some good place. I have 4.5 years experience, currently working in Extria, associate. That is really good, I think, because that's considerable amount of experience, that too in a relevant domain. So that should definitely help. Even in my company, there were few data analysts and data scientists. They were purely focused on SQL, and they were really good at SQLs, and they were building quite a lot of things by just using SQL language. So I think having this skill is definitely very good, but along with that, if you can maybe pick up, let's say, Python, is definitely going to help you. MicroStrategy is a data visualization tool, same like Power BI. That's great. I didn't know about MicroStrategy. Extra is a decent company. This is the first time I'm hearing about Extra, so Abhishek, I mean, it would be nice if you could maybe tell us how the company is. And I think personally, when I am evaluating something, my first goal is to look at the role itself and what are going to be my responsibilities within that role, and then secondary will be the reputation of the company. Well, reputation is probably the strong word, but how the company operates and how the management is, because it doesn't matter how good the company is, if your day-to-day role is not good enough, then it's not worth it. That's what I think. But if the company is not like extremely bad, but it's okay company, it has a decent reputation in the market, but the job that you are working on and your core responsibilities are really exciting, I think that's what I personally value a lot. But again, everyone has a different perspective to look at things, and I totally respect it. But yeah, if you want to share a word or two about the company, please do, Abhishek. It's a good company and they work in pharma domain. That's really good, because pharmaceutical companies are kind of always evergreen, if I can say so. So it's always good to be in a domain or a company where they always have some opportunity. Headquarters is in New Jersey. Nice. Do they also give opportunity to go to on-site or something like that? Yes, they do. They have a lottery system here for H1B visa. Yeah, I think it's everywhere probably for H1B visa. I'm definitely no expert in H1B visa, but from what I've heard from some of my friends, it's all about lottery system. Hi Atharv. What about MSc in AI? I have seen a couple of people pursuing MSc in AI. It is purely focused on things like machine learning, deep learning, and some advanced concepts within AI realm. And it is definitely very helpful, and a lot of companies do look out for machine learning engineer, deep learning engineer, or AI engineers in general. So yes, it has a lot of scope, but again, it is highly specialized. So unless a company is happy to make, let's say, some uh, compromise on specialization in case they don't need someone of that high specialization, and they just want someone who knows right from the data collection till the deployment of the model, they might go ahead with data scientists. But having said that, I think there are lots and lots of companies, they are looking for those specialists. So if you're someone who is just getting started, I personally think it's better to get into data science, because then you'll have a lot more flexibility to move around, and then you can later on decide and specialize into AI. But I have seen some freshers, they pursued their masters in AI and they are able to get a job as a data scientist as well. But then their core responsibility is around machine learning and deep learning and reinforcement learning, things like that. So it's slightly vague in the market. They call data scientist as a general term, but then your job can be data analyst, data engineer, or AI engineer. But if you don't want any of those, and if you know that you only need specialization and you only want to work on AI related projects, then I think MSc in AI is definitely the one you should go for. But do keep in mind, the competition is going to be high regardless of which one you pick: data science, data analytics, business analytics, or AI. So competition is going to be high, so you need to be prepared for that. What are the salaries after that, and after getting a MS degree in AI, then what will be the best MBA in UK? I'm not sure about MBA because I have never looked into that side of things, so can't really comment on that. But when it comes to salary, it depends a lot on the kind of experience which you already have. If you are if you are a fresher and if you don't have any experience, in that case, it can range from, it varies actually quite a lot, from 22k till the um, upper range, which can be around 35k. But if you move to, let's say, London or somewhere, you might get like 38k or something like that. So that's going to be for freshers, but if you have some experience, let's say 2 to 3 years of experience, then your salary can vary from 35 to 45. But then again, it depends from location to location. If you are living in a smaller city, then your salary can be below or around 40-45k. But if you are living in, let's say, London or bigger cities, then your salary can be slightly higher. And if you have even more experience, then your salary can start from 45, and it can go all the way up to there is no limit, because I have seen some of my friends, slightly different domain, computer science and software development. He's currently working in London and he is getting around 85k or something like that. So yeah, you can fetch quite high salary as well. How much will the living cost be in London? London is very expensive, not gonna lie. I would say if you are a student and if you are living in a student accommodations are generally expensive. So I would suggest, if you are alone, if you are living alone, you don't have family, then you can take a room in a shared accommodation, and you'll have your privacy, but then you will be sharing common things like kitchen, bathroom, those kind of things. So that can cost little less, but that is still going to be around 700 to 800 pounds, and I'm saying that a very reasonable price, but then it can be expensive as well. If the room is a bit bigger, you might end up paying like £1,000 just for rent. You could live little far from your university, because the transportation is quite good, and the connectivity is quite good in London, so you can still stay little far from the city, and you will save some money. Because one of the friends, he used to live in London. After completing his masters from Newcastle, he moved to London, and he was paying around 650 or 700 pounds, something like that, per month, including bills, and he was living quite close to airport. So yeah, it was cheap. But I think Queen's University London is on the east side, so you'll have to maybe see something that side. So that is going to be rent. In terms of food and stuff, again, it depends how you like to eat. If you really like to go out and eat outside, then it's going to be very expensive. But if you are okay and you can make food at home, then it may cost around 300 to 400 pounds per month. So those are the major expenses. Other expenses can be based on how often you like to go out and travel and those kind of things. It is a bit expensive to live in London, but I think it is manageable. Are the markets open? I'm not sure what that question actually means. Do you mean number of jobs in the market? If you're asking that, then if you go on to Office of National Statistics, there you will see that the number of jobs are reducing quite a lot, and for the first time in January it is below pre-COVID period time. So but that is not just data science related jobs, it's all the jobs in the market, but data science jobs are also proportional to that. So you need to keep in mind, so number of jobs are definitely reducing. But then this year a lot less people came to the UK for masters, so the competition is slightly low as compared to when I was here. But if you look at job to application ratio, it is still kind of same. So you need to be prepared for the competition as well. What's your visa status now, and sponsorship, is it available? Yes, I am currently on a skilled worker visa. I think salary is subjective because even in UK can be underpaid, and even in India you can get top dollars. I totally agree. What you just said, Ashutosh. It is very much dependent on what kind of job offer, which kind of company you are going into. So it can vary quite a lot. So if salary is only your, if monetary gains are the only motive to come to the UK, I would say that's the wrong way of doing it. And I have said this like so many times in live Q&As and even in some of the videos. So yes, I can totally put my hat on Ashuto's point. MS in data science in UK versus Germany as a fresher. Germany is definitely more open to people coming from different countries at this point, at least. And UK is trying to make it a little difficult for people who are coming from outside. So if you look at just that, I think Germany can be a good option. But there are a lot of other challenges that come with it. The first one is the language itself. So if you know German language, I think you will have a lot more options when compared to only English language. So that is something which you need to keep in mind. It may not be that big of a deal because if you are someone who can pick up language, you can quite easily learn that language and have a lot more opportunities for you. And there are lots and lots of companies, they are still fine and okay to hire someone without any German knowledge. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you get into some public funded university, you will probably save some money from your university fee side of things, but the course is going to be for 2 years, so you will still end up paying that much money in your living expense. And I don't know if I posted that video on YouTube or not, but I did calculate a while back where I compared the cost of masters in the UK and in Germany. Given that you are doing your masters from public funded university, the cost was more or less same, and I also considered part-time jobs that you will have to work on. So more or less after 2 years it was all kind of equal. So you are not saving a lot of money by going to Germany if you are thinking that you will be in a public funded university. But if you're paying your fees by yourself, then it's going to be definitely very expensive as compared to the university in the UK. But lately there are few downsides for UK as well. Lately the universities have increased their fees quite a lot, so maybe that may offset that calculation which I did long back, so I may have to do it again. So those are some of the things. And as I said, in UK they are trying to make it a little difficult for someone to come from outside and then try to find a job here in the UK. But eventually they will again be in a similar position where they were a while back. They will have shortage of skilled workers, and they might need people again, so they will change those rules again, and then they will invite more people in the UK. So those things are always there, those things will keep on changing. But I think that was my question, and I weighed both of like kind of pros and cons for both the countries. In terms of education, I think both of those countries are good. You will be able to learn quite a lot of things and you will get international exposure. In terms of jobs, I think it's again same. Competition is everywhere. So I think those were the important factors that you need to keep in mind if you are choosing one or the other country for masters. an electronic gadget which is much cheaper in the UK as compared to India. I can't think of any electronic device that might be a lot cheaper, but there are quite a lot of deals here for students. So you might be able to get things cheaper when using especially laptops and phones, those kind of things. You can use your student discount and get it for cheaper price. And another benefit of that is going to be you will get a UK plug, so you will not have to use any extension to plug that. Because trust me, it might sound very small thing, but every time I am going outside for a travel or something and I need to carry my electronic devices, I need to make sure that I am carrying those adapters. And if I forget that, then there's no way I will be able to charge my phone except for those USB, and it's very slow. So it can be troublesome. So that is again a benefit of buying things here in the UK if you are planning to stay here for a while. You might not get like huge discounts, but definitely 10%, 20% discounts for students is kind of common. So that can still save you quite a lot of money when you buy things here. But I'm not aware of is there any other deals which are going on in India. If there are any, then I think it's worth just picking things there and carry it with you. So which is better, UK or US? Difficult question. If we just look at number of jobs, then definitely there are a lot more jobs in US because it's a huge country. If we look at number of universities, there are a lot more universities there. So you have a lot more options in both picking up a university and trying to find a job. Next, one downside of US is that you might just end up working on H1B visa for all your life, and you will never have that security in case you want to settle in US. But if you just want to come back to India after your masters and work there for like a couple of years, then I think that's fine. But if you want to settle there, then there is no guarantee that you will get your green card there. It can take like years and years, and you see there are quite a lot of layoffs that happen in US. And if unfortunately that happens, and if you're not able to find another job, you may have to go back to your home country. So that's another issue with US. And US is that big, you can live wherever you want, whichever geographical location you like. You like colder places, you have it. You like hot places, you like it, you have it. You want to live close to beach, you can do that. So those kind of things. But again, it depends on where your job location is, and is it remote or not. So there are quite a lot of factors, but at least you have options. Whereas in UK, it's a very small country. It rains a lot. If you don't like rain, then definitely not for you. And it's very less to have sunny days. So those are the few things which can maybe put you off. In terms of number of jobs, it can provide you quite a lot of interesting job opportunities, but again, the competition is quite high, and competition is high in literally everywhere. You can't really escape the competition, so you will still have to fight for your offer. So again, I mean, those are the factors, and it is definitely very expensive to study in US when compared to UK. And the course is for 2 years, and here in the UK it's for 1 year, so you can finish your masters quite quickly and get into your work quite soon, whereas in US you have to spend at least 2 years in your masters. So those are the things that you may need to consider before picking one or the other. What was your motivation for what? I may not have looked at your question while I was speaking. So motivation for what? Salary comparison in, oh yeah, I would first like to answer salary comparison in the UK and US. You get significantly more salary in US as compared to UK. UK salaries are quite low, and if you look at the salary increase chart, it hasn't really increased in past a decade or so. So the salary is definitely a lot less when compared to what you get in US. But also a lot of expenses are quite uh, expensive in US, like medical and all those kind of things, whereas in the UK those things are not really that expensive. So if you are a very fit person, you don't have any issues and stuff, then I think US can be a good option. You can have your private insurance from your company, and hopefully you will be fine. But if you think that it's better to be on a safer side and you don't want to maybe just lose all your savings in medical expenses, then probably UK is a better place for that. Salary comparison in UK versus in Germany after MS in data science as a fresher, rough data. It's difficult for me to maybe comment on Germany because I have not looked into German market that much. So if I quote something, it's going to be wrong, and I don't want to do those things. And I did talk about the salary for fresher in the UK, which ranges from 22,000 pound per year to 35,000 per year. It can go up to 38,000 pounds per year as well, depending on the location. So that's the kind of range that you can expect as a fresher in the UK. I may have to look into the German salary market, and maybe I'll be able to answer this question in next Q&A. But right now I don't really have answer to that question. So far, if you're finding this live Q&A helpful, please do give it a thumbs up. It always gives you motivated to come back and do these live Q&As for you guys. So tell me, after MS, will I get a sponsorship or should I do MBA or PhD, which is better? What's your plan? Again, it's very difficult for me to say whether will you be able to get a sponsorship or not, considering government is making it a little bit hard for companies to give sponsorship to people, is because they are increasing the sponsorship fees and those kind of things. So maybe companies will be less motivated and less encouraged to provide sponsorship to people. So that may pose some challenges. As for MBA and PhD, those are very different things. So if you really like research work, and if you want to maybe get really into one or the other thing within data science, data analytics sort of things, then maybe go for PhD if you really like research and academic stuff, because that way you may be able to move to some teaching related roles. So that's the first thing. The second, if you really like corporate and MBA business side of things, then MBA is a option for you. So it totally depends on what you really like, and if you don't want to go for even higher education, which is MBA or PhD, then the only option is to find a job, and you will have 2 years of post-study work visa, and I think it's a good enough time to be able to find something and then maybe add value to the organization and then convince them that yes, it's worth the investment, and eventually you will get a sponsorship. So it purely depends on what is your motivation and what is your interests. So depending on that, you can pick one or the other. For me, at some point, yes, I was interested in PhD because I really liked the academic setup and the research work, but I personally couldn't find a really good project and a research area. So I decided to go for work, and I think I made a right decision, is because I'm really enjoying on what I am doing in my current role, and I have a lot of research opportunities as well within my current role, because we do quite a lot of market research and different type of analysis, which directly leads to research, and sometimes we even develop some different type of equations and stuff to solve those problems and to come up with different KPIs. So yeah, I think I have a mix of everything in my current role, so I'm personally happy. So that's my plan to continue here, but again, it can be very different for you. And if you are really interested into research work, then PhD is the one. If you really like the business side of things, then MBA is the one to go for. And if you just want to get into the job market and start building some experience, then job is the third option. Wow, time flies. We are already 52 minutes in. So when did you graduate, and what's your visa status? Which is the best MBA branch, and best college for MS in AI? When did you graduate? So I graduated in 2022. Yes, and my visa status is a skilled worker visa. And the next question is, which is the best MBA branch? I have no idea about MBA because I have never looked into MBA side of things, so don't know about this. And best college for MS in AI. So generally for AI research, University of Edinburgh is the best university in the UK, and it always ranks quite high in world ranking as well. The next one is probably Imperial College London. So those are some of the really good universities for AI research. I think King's College is also very good. University of Manchester, a very good one. So those are some of the best universities for AI and related fields. Thanks for the session, Roshan. Have to leave now. Is there any fixed time when you do these live Q&A? Yes, so I do these live Q&As every Saturday 12 p.m. UK time. So yeah, feel free to come, and we can have conversation just like today's. Have a great weekend, and enjoy, Abhishek. We'll talk to you next week. So AI is good branch, and we can have a successful career in AI. So it's a good choice, right? That's correct, because AI is definitely gaining so much popularity, and it's been gaining popularity for quite some time now. But today, the pace at which the AI is developing is just tremendous, and every day there is something new, there is new research going on. So yes, there is a lot of scope in AI, and when it comes to the companies investing in AI is massive. These days, I was just reading one of the articles, and it has become like a dot-com bubble. So it's like a AI bubble now. It doesn't matter what the company is doing, a smaller startups, and if they are making use of AI, they're getting quite a lot of investment from all the bigger companies, and most often than not, they get acquired by those bigger companies. So from that itself, you can say that there is a big investment in the world of AI. So there's a lot of scope, but again, it um, requires a lot of um, hard work, dedication to learn those things, because AI has advanced so much. And if you think that you can just learn the recent stuff, it will be good. So no, that's not correct, because you need to have a very good foundation as well. So you may have to just start from ground zero. But if you're able to do that, and if you already have some experience, and if you know those things, I think yes, definitely AI is going to be here for a very long time. And even for someone who is just getting started in the world of AI, AI has a lot more to offer. Right, we are almost at the end of this live Q&A. And I think it was a really good conversation today. Last week it was very quiet, and the live Q&A ended in like what, 10-15 minutes. But today we had quite a lot of good conversation here, a lot of useful information shared. So have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next weekend, next Saturday, 12 p.m. UK time. Bye, enjoy.